scenes. Hello and welcome to the Transformational Speakers Podcast. I'm your host, Erin Lemonjek, and I'm excited today because I got a new friend of mine with us today. And I love that we are both going to, we're meeting here online, and then in like a month, we'll be meeting in person. So this has been really fun because we have the Global Awaken Summit coming up in Miami, February 24th to the 26th. And I'm bringing you one of our special speakers, Kamal El-Rassi. He is an expert money mindset consultant certified by Bob Proctor and is a coach with Loral Langemeier, the millionaire maker, who will also be speaking on that stage with us. He has spent 24 years in professional business management and holds several degrees in chemical engineering from the University of Toronto, a master's degree in metallurgy and materials science. Like, how can we get so geeked out here? Also from the University of Toronto, certified in the Dale Carnegie Association in management and an MBA from Detroit Mercy, Xavier University. Trained, mentored, and certified by Bob Proctor himself. I love him, by the way. I know you don't know that I do know Bob, and I've met him many, many times. So we definitely, it's a soul on this earth we definitely miss. He works on money mindset, paradigm shift, and decision-making, expert thought leader on the Think and Grow Rich and business system known as Thinking into Results. This life system is summary of 150 years of science and psychology that started with Dale Carnegie, then passed Napoleon Hill, who spent time with Earl Nightingale, who mentored Bob Proctor for over 5 years. The legacy continued. He spent 2 years in training with Bob Proctor on goal setting and achieving paradigm shifts and decision making, all which were completed in the inner circle and master classes given by Bob. He helps entrepreneurs, CEOs, managers to start living a better life and to turn their annual income into their monthly, getting them to start living freely into their full potential. The process is a sure system for peak performance and break away from the pack and start living a healthy, happy, and wealthy life. We do this in a proven system called Thinking into Results. He's a key member of the Welfare Mofos, whose mission is to reverse the pain of negative results, poverty consciousness, and underperformance, and demonstrate healing power, focus, clarity, relationship capital. Creating through rapid transformation, resulting in high-level accelerated abundance. I'm super excited to have you here today. This is going to be jam-packed with nuggets. So take out your pen and paper. We're going to get going.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for this amazing, amazing introduction. Thanks for reading the bio. I love you. And so nice to be meeting you here and soon at the conference in Miami. So just very, very excited.
Yeah, I'm really excited. And it's funny when you read other people's bios, it's like, wow, I feel like I got to know you already. And they've already created a whole bunch of connections and collaborations. I was like, okay, we are definitely from the same tribe. So I'm excited to have you here.
Love it. Love it. Same here. Met you through Kessa and Harrison Klein, and just exciting to be on this podcast with you. And, the mission that we're on, what we're going to do to help the world and make everybody feel better and improve their life fairly quickly if they make up their mind to really change. So I'm just excited to be here. So all in.
Well, okay. So even reading your bio and thinking, usually I say, when you're 5 years old, you didn't wake up and go, I can't wait to be, this amazing coach and do all these amazing things. So give us a kind of because I'm looking at all your sciencey background, right? So how did you get to where you are today?
Well, to make a long story short, it was basically after, when I left Lebanon 32 years ago, when I made that decision to leave a place that was not serving me. And I had to make that decision, and I made it. And it took 22 years of working and studying and being in different positions. And then I decided one day, after hearing a couple of lectures from Bob Proctor, that there is really more to it. There's more to just working and getting paid a paycheck and making, whatever, 70, 80, 100 grand. There's way more to it because some people were doing it. Some people were really achieving some big results, but others are not. So when I looked around, I saw so many of us, including myself, but we're not hitting those big milestones. And, I was just getting there in the mid 40s and what do I need to do? And that's when I kind of locked into Bob Proctor and started getting mentored with him and through his classes. And I loved the material so much that I decided to really study it and coach it. And that has changed over the last 3-4 years. The transformation compared to the previous theory has been phenomenal. So now I'm coaching the material, thinking into results. I've just published a book with Raymond Aaron, and Loral is the forward on it. And it's so exciting to be helping others along this journey. So I thought if I can do it, they can do it. So I did the material, I did the work, and instead of struggling for a much longer amount of time, figured let's just do it through this higher level of consciousness, this higher level of awareness. So it's been an incredible journey. We miss Bob, rest in peace, Bob. The material is phenomenal. It's true tested. It is science and it is psychology. So my degrees came in handy during the analysis of all this. But it is just it's been a wonderful experience learning and studying the material and coaching with my amazing community and clients.
I love it. Yeah, and it's so true. Like when you start to see like there's like call to more, that eventually there becomes this place inside of you that's like there's a call to more, and I want to go and figure out what that is, right? And then you still have, like, for me, I've seen a lot with Bob Proctor stuff. I've coached many of his consultants, all of the above. So I've seen all of his major things, and I am good friends with Sandra and Kathy Gallagher. We all did personal development together. This is how I met Bob many years ago. He used to come to Sci seminars and speak every single year. And really, truly, I'll never forget he asked me, what's your big goal? What is it? And I was like, I want to speak to a sold out arena. And he goes,
oh, wow.
All right.
Love
so
it.
I still hold that because I know now I have some divine guidance up there that can help kind of weave that in, right? So it's fun to know how, to think of all these connections and how it all comes about, but also that call to, like, there has to be something more to this. And there's so many people that are struggling with the scarcity mindset, the poverty mindset. There's so many things. I went and studied NLP this summer, and just the tools that we can help rewire our brain. And so I'm excited to hear more about how you help people that come to you. Like, what's the biggest problem that most people come to you with?
One of the biggest problems has been, it seems that there's a lot of lack of belief in what they can do. It's like a limiting belief. It's like that they have that ability. We think, or they think, and I used to think, that we need more stuff. We need more books. We need more education. We need more degrees. And how do I know that? Because I had 5 degrees. So I figured if you get another degree, you can get another promotion. You get another certificate, you get another little, a little more, on the paycheck. And then you have this misbelief that you cannot do things. You're not able, or you're not worthy. So that's some of the key things where when my clients come in, I help them let go of these limiting beliefs. And fairly quickly, with some studying with the material and really doing it, but they have to be committed. So I help them to really engage in this beliefs in themselves that they have the ability, because we are, like Bob always taught us, and we are an image of the spirit. We have, way higher ability than we can ever imagine. We just have to be willing to do the work. We're able, but we got to be willing to work. So I lend them that belief so that they have that power and to move into that frequency and vibration of their desire. That's the magic. How do you move to that goal? How do you move to that frequency? How fast can you get there?
Yeah, when you remove the blocks, because we're right there, and it's like right here, and we almost can't see it, because that belief is like the blinder that's keeping you away from your highest potential. So as you're like, yes, I got this, but you can't see past it. You're just stuck. And so I find that a lot of people don't even see that they have blinders on, because it's so much a part of their reality. And it's interesting you say that, because I was talking to somebody this morning. I had coffee with a gentleman in the startup community here in the local area. And we were talking about, I had a conversation with Brene Brown about that voice in your head, right? She always says that voice in your head is not you. So that's just programming. It's all the things, it's voices of the past talking to you. Yeah. But as a child, you think that that's you, that's your voice. And it sounds like you, and it beats you up, and it does all the things that you would never allow anyone else to do, but you believe that. So when I asked Brene, how do we teach this to children? And she says, you got to tell them that that voice is not them. So make it like the critical Aaron or the critical Kamal, like that way they can see that it's not them. But when we listen to that voice that beats us up, I call it the negative roommate.
The negative roommate, the negative inmate. That's right.
Yes. She's like, you're not good enough. Who do you think you are? Why would you ever do that? All of those things. She never got me a promotion. She never got me a client. She never got me anything amazing in my life. So why are we listening to that, right?
Yeah, that's incredible. And that's what, it has many different names. One of the names is what you said. In other words, like the little voice or the negative side, because we're programmed to be limited. We're programmed to go in steps. We're not programmed to go in quantum leaps. And that's the other thing that I learned from Bob, other than goal setting and achieving, is shifting your paradigm, shifting your income. Everybody's programmed at a certain level. The results that we're in is our programming. And that's a subconscious belief. So for us to go to that multiple income, double, triple, 10 times, we have to shift on the inside. And to do that shift, the belief have to change. Now, as you go on to believing it, the paradigm kicks your butt. The paradigm takes you down and say, no, you're not worthy. No, you're not good enough. Who do you think you are? Now, our job and my job as a coach is to say, no, you can do this. And we'll give them the tools and the techniques, what to do on a daily basis, how to wake up in a gratitude mode, how to wake up with a positive attitude, how to kind of live it from the wish fulfilled and start living this life. And then suddenly you'll get the law of attraction, law of vibration working on your behalf. Because, science and religion both agree everything is already here. So whatever we want, the moment you desire it, it should be yours. It's your gift. It's God's gift to us. Now, how do you get it? How does it show up in your bank account? There's ways to do it. And that's what Bob did from Earl Nightingale and, Napoleon Hill and Dale Carnegie. They put this material together. The key is, believing in it, sticking to it, and do things in a certain way. I could mention one quote here. We do not get rich by doing certain things. We get rich by doing things in a certain way. And rich, not necessarily just money. It's wealth, it's happiness, it's attitude, it's friendships. You got to do it in a certain way. If you continue doing it the old way, the habitual way that we are programmed, you're going to keep getting the same results.
Yeah. And usually you keep getting the same results over and over because your thoughts then affect your behaviors that then become a habit and it's just a vicious cycle. And that's where you need somebody outside of you to say, oh, hey, I see that blind spot for you, or I see those blinders. Let's help remove that so that you can get what you're trying to, the new way.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that some of the material, because this is the stickman figure, right? This is what Bob always talks about, right? This is the mind and subconscious mind and the conscious mind, and the results are here. This is the body. So people are stuck with the results. I used to be stuck with the results. And this is the environment. Well, we have to separate ourselves from the results. I have to put myself in a place of service. You put yourself in a place of service to help others, not in the money you're going to get or the wealth. You put yourself where you with your goal, and then you let that subconscious mind get you all the help you need. If you keep thinking of what you have, you're going to continue having what you have. Thoughts, feelings, and action. And the subconscious mind, once you learn to reprogram what you want and implement that idea, implant it in the subconscious mind, it's game over. You have to have it. It has to. It is the law. It's like gravity. Everything, gravity works. If you drop a pen, it goes down. It's the law. Once you accept that idea, your subconscious mind will go to help you. And that's where the law of attraction, law of vibration would work on your side. It's a beautiful thing. And that's why I fell in love with the material with Bob. It made so much sense. Started applying it into my life, into my business, doubled my sales, doubled my income, doubled my investment. I'm like, I can help other people with this. And it's just so amazing. So amazing.
Well, I love it because, thinking about, you got Loral and you got Bob, you got two of the people from The Secret that you somehow came into finding and manifesting, right? And it's funny because I've had many people from The Secret on my podcast into my life, and it was the coolest thing for me is I was raised law of attraction. I was raised with these kind of beliefs as a child. And so for me, I always felt like the outsider because I lived in a small town where everyone were just Christian and it was all focused here. And anyone outside of those churches was not really accepted. So I was woo-woo. I was new age. You're a little out there, And so when that movie came out, I finally said, oh my gosh, I finally feel represented by something in the media. And that other people can see what I believe in. It's not that I'm crazy.
That's right. I mean, that movie was a blessing. More than 500 million people, have seen it. And when I saw Bob first there, like, wow, oh my God. So then I started, listening more, started studying with him. And then through Bob, I attracted Loral into my life. And I'm forever grateful now because now Loral is my mentor. So Bob was my mindset teacher. And now Loral is my money mentor, where we learn how to grow businesses, how people really put systems in place, because you can earn money, but then how do you invest it? How do you keep it? How do you shelter it so it can grow? And that's where, I feel I manifested Bob and then Loral. You attract the people that you want into your life to help you. And I love what you said, because, a lot of you are left, we're too analytical. We don't believe in this woo-woo stuff. And I'm Christian too. So I do believe in God, but this is the law of attraction. This is spiritual. You bring the people to your life to help you manifest what you want. And so I love it that, I talk to Laura all the time, and I coach with her on the team. And it's just been incredible to have, Bob as my mentor, and now Laura. And interestingly, Laurel had Bob as her mentor, and she worked with him for a while. And Bob had Earl Nightingale for a while, and he worked with him. So I'm like, wow, I can really transfer this material to other people. And that's that's how my clients and customer and community really gain, because we speed up this process. And boom, once they get it, it's like, wow, the light goes on.
Yes. And I love that, because it's so true that all the best coaches and the best mentors in the world had their own mentors. And so if I always say to people, if they're coaching, I'm like, do you have a coach? I'm like, I have like 4 coaches, because I always have it in like specific areas like finance or weight or, health or, there's all like, because I grew up as an athlete, I know the specializations that I would need, right? To be really targeted and good at my skills. So why wouldn't I have that now as an entrepreneur? Because you need somebody in those buckets to help you, because we don't need to know everything. We can just depend on somebody else's knowledge and experience to really help us navigate that.
That's a beautiful thing what you said, because as we grow up, like from when we were little, we try to depend on ourselves. And depending how you were programmed, you didn't have the mentors or the coaches. You had to go in step by step. But it took 22 years, what I tell my clients. And in the last 3 years, with having 4 or 5 coaches at the same time, helping me, mentoring me, teaching me. I just met with Les Brown, just met with John DeMartini, and with Laurel. Things speed up. You take all that experience and they give you what they've got. And that's how life changes. You don't need to wait 10 years to get results. You don't need to wait 2 years to get a job promotion. You get a coach or a mentor to work with you, it's going to be incredible. I'm working now on my voice. I'm working now on my, my storytelling with Les. And it's just incredible, because that's how you speed up progress. But the programming, Aaron, how we are raised as kids does not allow us to do that. We're like, oh, we have this big ego. I don't need the help. I can do that by myself. I can go and read the book. And then, yeah, you can, but it takes you a year or 2 or 3 or 5, and you might never figure it out. Whereas you can take that distilled information from a mentor, boom, and suddenly you're there. And then you jump. And then your results will jump.
I will tell you, the first time I hired a coach, I couldn't afford it. It was $1,000 a month, right? But I knew I couldn't afford not to, because in my sales, I wasn't closing people and I didn't understand what was going on. I'm like, oh, they seem so excited to work with me. And then nothing, radio silent. And I had to get really painful and have eviction papers handed to me. And my husband said, you make more money than I do. You better go back and get a real job. And I'll never forget that, because that was the month I probably should have gotten a real job, but I wouldn't be here where I am today. But it was the thing that got me to hire somebody. And the moment I hired her, I knew that I had to at least make $1,000 a month. So it put a little hustle in my butt. But then the minute I started paying somebody else, people started paying me. And that's right. Something behind it that most people don't talk about. The minute I started paying, people started paying me. It's the reciprocity. And that's the other thing about having a coach. It's really important, because not only is it going to, move you, but it really does give you more the money coming in. It's the give and receive. It's a give and receive. I remember this lesson with Bob: willingly give and graciously receive. And I actually remember my first investment with Bob. I mean, the first part was $7,000 you get in the class. And then you get to the next one, $35,000. For the first 4 months, I didn't even tell my wife. It was just so much money, right? Because, it's a big number. It's not a lot of money. Now it's not. But at the time, I wouldn't even tell her that I paid that much. Right. But the more you invest in you, what I've learned over the last 3-4 years, the more you invest in you, on your growth, on your awareness, the faster you're going to grow, the more you're going to feel that. You just shift, like you shift your value. You now deserve more. You become worthy of it more. And that's how it works. And every mentor, everybody that's somebody got 1, 2, or 3 or 4 mentors. I have a few of them right now. Same with you. So this investment in self is so critical. But the paradigm and the programming as we are kids, as we're growing up, depending on, like I come from Lebanon, remote, not much, not having, no money, no food, no water. So anytime you have a little money, you got to keep it. It's like, oh, I'm not going to spend this. I'm going to save it. Whereas you have to think differently. It's a different time and day. So mentorship is the way to go. If you want to speed up your progress, get a coach and a mentor. It doesn't have to be a long term.
Could be a few months, 6 months, 1 year. It's a beautiful thing. Best thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah, or come to an event where there's a whole bunch of them and at least
Yeah,
take notes
come to
from
the
them.
event
So
in
come
February
the Global
24th.
Awaken Summit in
Oh my God.
February. Yes, because we have amazing people like yourself, myself, and so many amazing speakers and coaches and mentors that will pour into you during those 3 days. And I feel like a lot of times people are like, well, I can't afford it. Well, then go and bet your butt in a seat.
Well, that's
there.
beautiful. That's right. The fact that people say I can't afford it, the more reason they need to go, because you have to change the verbiage. You have to change the vocabulary. How about saying I can afford it? How about saying I will afford it? How about saying I'm going to earn the money to afford it? Like an event like this, there's 35 speakers from what I saw, maybe a couple more. There's going to be, masterminding with on the yacht with like multi-millionaires, maybe even billionaires. It's an opportunity of a lifetime for anybody to move, because whoever is listening out there, you don't need too much. You need just that one or two things that's going to shift you. You might think it's going to take a lot. You just need to be in the presence of the energy, and you'll see your life will change. So go for it. February 24th to 26th, come on in, join, and sign up for the yacht mastermind. It's going to be incredible. Casa is amazing. 35 speakers plus. I mean, it's just a beautiful.
Well, like you talk about, right? The beingness, being able to, if you have some of those poverty consciousness things that are in your way, being on a yacht in Miami, that's just everybody for a moment, just imagine how amazing that's going to be. But you're inside of the feeling, and that becomes what you attract. So come in and join us, but also come to be a part of that. I have a friend who owns a private jet company. And so I've gotten to sit on private jets. And for me, it's like, this is the reality, because eventually I want a jet so that I can fly with my people, my family, my dog, right? I want all of that. And so, but you have to experience it, to be in it, to feel it, to then emanate it and then bring it into you, right?
It's so good when you experience such abundance, such like growth. It's different. Like we just came from a vacation in Mexico, and we were in this very fancy resort. It was just so cool to see the abundance, to see the service, to see the investment. Yeah, it did cost some money, but it is worth it because you elevate yourself. The moment you put yourself in the presence of others who are doing better than you, or you want to be like them, you move yourself. We are the average of the 4 or 5 people we're hanging around. So if you really want to change, find somebody that's doing something you want to do. Then that's somebody you have to respect. You have to resonate with them and start sticking around with them. See how you can help them. See how you can work with them. And then in a matter of half a year, 12 months, 18 months, boom, you become like that. Your income, your average, your habits, everything becomes like that. It's an incredible time. And we're still at the beginning of the year. So I'd suggest everybody to sign up. I think the basic ticket is like $97. Get the $500 one so you can be in the mastermind, so you can be in this high-end conversation, because it will change the course.
For sure. Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing, is how can you be what you want to be becoming? Because when you can step into that and really attract it, that's where you're saying it just catapults you faster. And I think that is so important, and finding the people who have the results you're looking to get. Right. So tell us a little bit more. What are you going to be speaking on at the summit?
So the key thing I want to speak on, like, this is the beginning of the year, and it's going to be still at the beginning of the year. So goals, people set goals and all these things, and they never get them done. So I want to teach the art of setting a goal and achieving it, because setting a goal should be the hard part. Achieving it is easy if you know how to set it. So I'm going to teach the art of how Bob taught it. What does it take? What kind of goal is a goal, right? So I'm going to teach that. Then I'm going to teach, what does it take to get through it? Like, what's it going to happen? Let's say you want to release some weight. How are you going to stick to going to the gym? How are you going to stick to that diet that you're going to go on? Because you will do it for a day or 2 or a week or 3, but can you do it for a month? Can you do it for 6 months? What's that persistence that's needed? There's a chapter 9 here in Think and Grow Rich on persistence. I'm going to teach you what it takes, the 2-3 things that you can shift so you can persist. Because if you don't persist, it's not going to happen. The paradigm will come and take you back. It'll be like a rubber band. Most people will do a little bit, they'll get better, and then they go back. Well, I'm going to teach you how you can stretch your results. That could be earning more money. That could be releasing the weight. That could be engaging with other excited opportunities. then staying there. And that's called the paradigm shift. How can you shift permanently? Because once your results shift and you shift on the inside, it's permanent. You don't go back. That's what we're going to teach. And it's and also how to start masterminding to that next level. You really have to surround yourself with the right community. If you're not in the right community, and unfortunately sometimes, Aaron, it's family members, sometimes it's close friends, sometimes it's the poison work. I was talking to Tom Ziegler. 60% of the employees are not happy where they're at. 30% of the people on their way to work on Monday are likely to have some kind of heart attack or stroke because they're so frustrated because the environment is so poisoned. So you have to take yourself out of that environment. You have to be in a mastermind group, in a allegiance kind of group that's going to help you to grow. So what does it take? How can you get involved? So these are the 3 points that I'm focusing on. We can add a few more things, but it's I'm excited, and it'll be amazing.
Yeah. Well, I think all of those things is just anything that's everything you need in life, right? So whether you're a business owner, you're excited, maybe you're just thinking about being an entrepreneur. Maybe you're one of those people that's driving to work and you're like, man, I wish it was 5 o'clock already. But when you find that passion and you have that spark, it's how do you then expand that and help it grow? And so I love what you're going to be bringing to the table. I know I have a couple ideas for Kessa. We're going to look at the whole plan of who's speaking and fill in the blanks, but I'm going to be talking about how to make 10K anytime you speak on a stage. I know you said you're working with Les, who's one of my friends. And I just really love when people start using their voice to change the world. And being a speaking coach and a business coach for speakers, really, for me, every day I wake up, so I help people like you change the world in a different way, because your audience may never hear me, may not even resonate with me or resonate with what I have to say. But if I can help you get on stages and make a huge ripple effect in the world, I got to be a piece of that. And that excites me. And then when I make people like us really good money, nonprofits, charities, and causes are all taken care of, right? Because I'm a huge philanthropist. And so this is another way that I get to make another ripple effect in the world. And I'm just really excited to be around more people like you, that we can all lift the consciousness of the planet and really help one another get there faster.
Absolutely. And that's the objective, is to lift that awareness, get everybody in that positive vibration, because it's doable and it is here. And abundance is everybody's birthright. We just have to allow it to happen. And our job, I feel, Aaron and Harrison and everybody's going to be there, is to really engage at the highest level and serve. Because when we show up and serve authentically and with good heart, and then people listen, if they're ready, they're going to be lifted. It doesn't need to take long. So I'm excited for this. Yes. And I'm just being that's like the last word I'd say, let's just all be a good follower, because we have good leaders. You have good mentors, good coaches that you're following. So I became a good follower of Bob and now of Loral, and I'm going to make the world a better place my way, the way I know how, from my experience, so that everybody else can benefit. And that's the idea. I love it. So.
All right, so join us February 24th to the 26th for the Global Awaken Summit. The link is in the comments below. And so tell us a little bit more about where can people find you?
The easiest way to find me is either on my website, askelrassi.com, ASKELRASSI.com. That's the easiest way. Once you go there, you'll get my phone number, you'll get my email, you'll get my contact, you'll get the first chapter of my book, which has just came out, which is my knowledge and info on the thinking into results. I'm also on Facebook and on LinkedIn. That's the best way to get a hold of me.
All right. So the final question that I ask all my guests is about your future self. So my future self is ELJ. She has sat under the trees with Oprah, New York Times bestselling author, $40 million company. She's done all the things. So when I need advice, I bring ELJ in to give me advice. So if I was to bring your future self to you today, what advice would he give you?
Stop being scared. Start being you. Get out there and serve the world the best way you can every day. And don't let the negative, don't let the small voice, don't let the limiting beliefs hold you back. It's time for everybody to shine. It's time to really be the one. Start serving, helping, speaking in every way you can, and just, do it every day. Don't quit. No quitting.
No quitting. Well, thank you so much for being here. So thank everybody for listening. Please join us at the Global Awaken Summit, February 24th to the 26th in Miami. Come hang out with us. Come get on the yacht with us. Let's go be in it together, right?
Yes, what a dream to be in Miami on the yacht with all of us. It's just going to be an incredible opportunity. And, the token of it is so small, and it's all, it's going to be fundraised anyway. So it's a beautiful organization. Kelsey is doing an amazing job, and just so excited to be among these elite professionals. So looking forward to seeing you all. Everybody that's listening, do it. The $100 or the 500, it's going to be worth it. Trust me.
So thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you on stage.